Many girls here in Australia can only dream of making it big in the music industry. But one girl has managed to achieve that goal. Stick around while I go one-on-one with a megastar on the rise, making big waves in the United States.
You guys have been an amazing crowd to perform to, and thank you for listening to my music. It means the world to me. My name is Danni Stefanetti.
Danni Stefanetti.
A boost to new talent. Entertainment reporter Sandy Kenyon is here now to introduce us to one rising star trying to find her place in the spotlight. Sandy.
Liz, one of the joys of this job is the chance to throw a bright spotlight on news.
Everything's alright.
Aussie singer-songwriter Danni Stefanetti has been wowing US crowds since the moment she arrived.
What has been the reaction from the crowds in the United States?
Wow, the reaction from the crowds in the US has been overwhelming. I've felt so much support over here, and it's been a real blessing to perform at the casinos, to perform at any location out here. It's just been incredible. Every week it's kind of been a different crowd, and I've really enjoyed all the comments back and people coming up and getting my CD, and it's just been very overwhelming.
Tell me what it was like to go over to America and have to start all over again from scratch.
Going from Australia to America, it was like starting from scratch. It's like going from zero to creating something out in America. You have to start all over. And it was exciting, but it was scary at first to move to the States. I wasn't sure if people would like my music. I wasn't sure how I was going to go out there. I wasn't sure how many gigs I was going to get. It was scary, but I think the reaction in America went really well, so I'm glad I took the leap.
You had a taste of success with some gigs in LA. And then what happened?
I was, getting a lot of venues and playing a lot of the week. Shortly after, the pandemic hit and it shut down all the musicians, and I wasn't sure whether to stay in America or go back home to my family and friends in Australia, and it kind of left me in limbo. I didn't quite know what to do with my career. I didn't know if the shows were going to come back at all the venues, so it was a really scary time.
But in true Aussie spirit, Stefanetti was to land on her feet, getting a lucky break when she caught the eye of big-time music producer and former CNN executive Jeffrey Panzer.
Then, after the pandemic, what happened?
After the pandemic, I was living on a ranch-style house in the middle of the country in California, and I was writing songs. I was just posting guitar videos every so often, and music executive, TV executive Jeffrey Panzer saw one of my videos on Instagram by complete fluke. He was managing another band at the time, and he happened to see my guitar video of me singing in the middle of this rural farm location, and then that led into me recording a whole album and many other things happening from that.
And happen they did, when in 2023 she took out the prestigious Josy Award for Independent Artist Vocalist of the Year. And the media was soon to frenzy, with magazines such as Guitar World comparing her with some of the greats, such as Jimi Hendrix and In Excess.
I was reading Guitar World recently, and I saw you in there alongside the greats of In Excess, Hendrix, Joe Walsh, and people like that.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, I started I would do little spurts of riffs on my songs, but it wasn't as heavily driven as my new record. I guess I was hitting upon something that was working, and then I went back to being a folk balladeer. And then recently I picked up those old habits that were good habits of guitar-layered things that Guitar World magazine talked about my new upcoming record. And it was a pleasure to be on Guitar World, because that was a dream as a kid. I saw Kiss and all of the greats on the posters on Guitar World magazine. And to finally be in that magazine was an amazing thrill, to be interviewed and then to be on there.
Starting at a very early age, the incredibly talented Stefanetti was already showing glimpses of brilliance.
You think I'm beautiful. The moon looks pretty light. Remember me when you're welcome.
How would you describe your music?
I would describe my music as fresh summer country rock, and definitely has elements of pop in my melodies and sensibility. Heavily guitar driven, and I want my music to be accessible to everybody. I would definitely call me a multi-genre artist.
Many Australian music groups and acts have tried to break into the US market many times over the years and been unsuccessful. How have you managed to break on through to the other side, Danny?
Yeah, I guess a lot of other Australian bands and artists have come out here to make it in America. I don't know, everyone's got a different story. How did I break on through to the other side? I think that I've just stayed true to my craft, and I love what I do, and people are starting to, a lot of the stations out here have been playing my last single, You Got Me Thinking of You, and it just kind of kept going. The people kept carrying the music, and they were making videos about the song, and then I've had some support down under in Australia with that single. So I don't know, I think breaking on through to the other side, I'm constantly doing that every day. I want more and more people to hear my music out in America and all over the world.
You got me thinking of you again and again.
Her 2023 single, You Got Me Thinking of You, has exploded in popularity all over the world since its release.
Oh, you're just friends, you got me thinking of you.
How is your music travelling so fast with your fans?
Wow, yeah, the music is travelling very fast with the fans through Europe, through England, Denmark. We've had some charting success in Europe and America, Australia, Japan. It has been really cool to see a single that I just put out as an independent artist do so well and get played on all these independent radio stations throughout the world. And I'm thanking my fans for picking up the phone and requesting the song as well. And I'm not quite sure how it's travelled so fast, but just me and my manager have been working every day getting the song out there. And it's really exciting to see how much the music is travelling.
What's that feeling like when you're on stage and you're playing to a crowd and the crowd's really into you, the music and everything you're about? What's that feeling like? Can you describe that?
The feeling I get when I'm on stage performing to crowds and rocking out for people that have come to enjoy my songs is like a massive adrenaline rush. I can be having a headache or going to a show feeling a bit off, but as soon as I start singing and get that energy back from the crowd, I feel that, and it makes me feel so good. And I come off stage feeling like I don't know, like I've just gone for a nice swim in the ocean. It feels so relaxing, and I just feel in my happy place when I'm on the stage.
Take me back to Perth and your dad, and tell me about some of the shows that you played in WA.
Sure. Well, my dad is a very important part of my life, and he did a lot for my music career all through those teenage years and onwards. And we used to do, I call it the hard yards. We used to play around Perth, throughout Australia really. We would play at any festivals or venues that would have me play. And we basically, I got to a point where I played at a lot of the venues, and I needed to get myself out of my comfort zone, and my dad was such a big supporter of mine. He would, sometimes there would be thousands of people at a show, sometimes there would be him and the bartender, and he didn't care. He was so loyal to me, and he believed in me so much that he would continue doing all these gigs with me until I one day moved to America. So I couldn't have done it without my dad. He's really an Australian hero, and he put everything of his time. He was working a construction job during the day, and at night he would go out and help me with my gigs and be my roadie and stage manager and all of that. The timing was on is very special to me because it's about that moment in time where if you're off by a second, you might never have met that person, and it makes me tear up, and it can change your whole destiny, and that song is very special. You can hustle and do the hard yards for many years like I was doing in Australia, and sometimes it's just not, you can be doing everything right, or maybe some things are off, but if the timing is on and you meet the right people in your team and the right song at the right time, I believe that has a lot to do with it, and blessings from God. But yeah, timing is so important because, you know, I've pulled back songs that I had from years ago and they've, you know, done really well recently. So it is all about timing.
In her teens, Stefanetti was to learn from the best, making regular appearances on the Channel 10 Western Australian TV show The Couch.
Well, hello and welcome. This is The Couch, finally on Access 31 on a Sunday afternoon at 5:30. I'm Fred Mafrica. Hope to have your company for the next hour.
To The Couch. Hello, welcome to another edition of The Couch.
I asked her how much did she learn from that experience.
They are very big supporters of my music, and I was a teenager when I was they started kind of training me up on, like, look over to camera B, look over to camera A, and I was this tiny little girl, and the guitar was bigger than me, and Fred would be like, that's a really good song, Danny, where's your dad, you know? So I think all of those years going into The Couch was so, they might not have known it at the time, but they became like family, and I think they know that now. I got so much encouragement from The Couch and Fred and Adrian, and it was really encouraging to see that.
It's Fred. Fred. It's Fred.
After all these years, I got asked by Fred to do an interview on his show and on 6PR radio, and because they're family to me, they've grown up seeing me through all my stages, and I've seen them through all their set changes too. They asked me to update the jingle. Now, I've done their jingle for many years on their show. It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can hear it from your house with Fred. It goes like that. And anyway, we updated the production of it and sent it over, and I can definitely feel the love from Fred and The Couch all the way in America every time I hear from them, and their support down under as well.
The first clip that you sent Fred, though, had to have a little alteration in it. What was that?
Oh yes, he wanted to keep it like the original words, but with You Got Me Thinking of You, my latest single, underneath it. So I'm very excited to hear it on the show.
I finished by asking what's next in 2024 for Danni Stefanetti.
2024, I'd love to have more koalas on my side, more people hearing of my music. I'm going to be releasing new music this year. I got 11 songs of Danni's Diamonds ready. I hope to be going back to Nashville, and I've been writing with William Lee Golden from the Oak Ridge Boys. The Oak Ridge Boys will be dropping a video with Kid Rock and a lot of other big stars, which I'm going to be in this year for Elvira. And I hope to not just tour California, but crisscross the whole of the United States and have more fans that become koalas and Danni fans throughout the USA and throughout the world. I want to spread my wings and play my original music to as many people as want to hear. And thank you to everyone back in Australia that is continually backing me and cheering me on out here in the United States. I love you guys.